I know y'all remember this story because it's one that was talked about a lot 4 years ago. I remember watching a video that Christy made about it when the Nigerian American family of Christian Obumseli made a GoFundMe asking for our support, and it has now come out that Courtney, who is the woman who unalived Christian Obumseli, took a plea that apparently his family, at least his mother, according to her lawyer, it's okay with, and apparently she's only going to spend 2 more years in jail. So she's been in custody for the past 4 years, and according to this plea she has 2 more years to go, which we all know that with credit is going to turn into 18 months. And to that I say, rest in preference, Christian Obumseli. I know that some people are going to feel like that is low empathy, but I personally do not believe in changing my stance simply because someone passed. I know that a lot of black women did that when Kevin Samuel passed. They were like, oh my god, it's so sad when someone passed, even if the person who passed wasn't an angel. Okay baby, I don't function like that. While Kevin Samuel was alive, he was out here calling black women average at best. Okay, his passing is not one that I lost a single tear over. You know, the same kind of applies to Christian Obumseli, especially since apparently she did what she did in self-defense. So the relationship was definitely toxic. I can't say for certain that he's the one who attacked her that day. None of us know that. None of us was there, right? But we know for a fact, you know, there's evidence at least that the relationship was very toxic. You know, she had called this man the N-word many times over, and apparently that didn't bother him. You know, at least it didn't bother him enough to leave. He still stayed with her. Okay, so I guess he didn't mind to a certain extent. Anyways, so yeah. And also, while Christian was alive, he used to say the vilest thing about black women. He used to call us ugly. He said that we were an embarrassment. He said that he wanted to be with a white woman, that it was his dream to be with a white woman. And you know, to that I said, look guys, what happened? Christian actually got to live his dream before passing on to the other side. How many people can say that? Do you know how many people never get to experience their dream before passing on? Because, you know, many people have a dream, you know, like Dr. Martin Luther King, many people have a dream, but most people don't get to experience their dream before leaving the earth. Okay, so Christian actually got to live his dream. Okay, that's what I have to say about this. He actually got to live his actual dream before passing on to the other side. How many of y'all can say that? Okay, so there's that. And there's also the fact that him and his family were also very anti-black American, which I personally can't stand. Listen, I hate Diaspora war. Okay, I really dislike it. I hate when people bring it to my platform. Sometimes people will bring it to my platform. They will be on my comments saying, don't speak for black women, you are African, you are this, you're not. Baby, I am a black woman, okay? Even though I'm African, my lived experience is pretty close to the lived experience of the black American woman with no admixture, okay? Monoracial black American woman, 2 black parents, our life experiences are not gonna be that different, okay? So I personally don't like at all when we separate, you know, Africans from black American. Like, we're all the same, you know, experience racism the same. Like, to a white person, there's no difference, okay? Do you think that as I'm walking around in these streets in Germany, people care whether I'm African or black American? As a matter of fact, a lot of Germans think I'm black American, okay? So it don't matter, okay? Like, racism be the same, yeah. So let's not do that. I really don't like the diaspora war, and I think it's weird that him and his family moved on to America and then had disdain for black Americans. Like, why do you move to people's country and then you don't like them? That don't make sense, right? And it seems like a lot of African people move to America and then have contempt for black Americans, which I think is weird. You know, even Cynthia Orevo, who went to America and then got better opportunities than the one she had in England, and yet at some point she did say some questionable things about black Americans, which I thought was of very poor taste. You know, especially given the fact that black American women still supported Wicked massively, okay? So let's not do that, you guys. Like, it doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, we have the same struggles. Like, what unites us is a lot bigger than what separates us. So it don't make sense. Don't move to America and have contempt for black American people. And you know, I understand that sometimes black American people shoot first, right? I get that. You know, I know that little African children are called African booty scratchers, star babies. I know that because I have cousins in Baltimore, Maryland, and I know that, you know, they were insulted as kids. So I understand that, you know, it's kind of a toxic relationship, right? You know, it doesn't really matter who hit first, but a relationship end up being toxic. But I'm over it. I think it needs to stop. I think it doesn't make sense. I don't think we should do that. But anyways, that's not what this particular video is about. This particular video is about Christian Obumseli being unalived by Courtney, and Courtney is going to be out in probably 18 months with credit. And you know what? Believe this or not, I actually wouldn't be surprised if she actually partners another black man in 2 years. Like, there are black men out there who will still date her, especially since she has this sob story about how he was physically abusive towards her, about how he was violent, about how he almost took her life that night. Mind you, she ended up taking his, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that story still works on some black men though. I wouldn't be surprised if some black men still see it as, hey, poor thing just defended herself, so I'm not going to have the same fate as Christian. You know how humans be anyway. Humans always love believing that they are going to be the special snowflake, right? Reason why women date men who've been horrible to their ex before, or have kids with men who don't take care of their kids, right? Because they believe, you know, they have the special pussycat, that they're going to be the special one. So apparently it is in humans' behavior to really want to feel special or believe we are special, whatever. So I personally wouldn't be surprised at all if, you know, she finds a black man to date, marry, procreate with if she so desire in 2.5 years from now. But yeah, you know, Christian wanted to be with someone who is fit, feminine and friendly, and he got just that. You know, he said we were HWORS, which is hilarious given the fact that Courtney was an OnlyFans model, by the way. You know, black women. He said that we were embarrassing on TV. He said we were aggressive. He said we were ugly. So I say, let's stay out of it. Okay, I say he should have chosen better. You know, that's what people are saying about Ashley Janae, right? That's what black men said about her. They say that, and I know that her case is being ruled as suicide, even though I personally don't believe that, you know, she did self unalive. I just personally don't believe that, but I know her case is being ruled as that. But when that tragedy happened, black men made videos here on TikTok saying that, you know, Ashley should have chosen better. And yeah, that's what Christian should have done too, because the person who is responsible for unaliving him is going to be out in 6 years. I really need you guys to let that sink in, right? 6 years for a human life. 6 years. 6 years is nothing, you guys. Literally nothing. Like, there are people in Europe who've been inside longer than that for armed robbery. Okay, talk less of, you know, unaliving somebody. But you know, he wanted to be with someone who has right privilege. And you know, something else that I thought about while reading the article, I really wish that black men understood that by calling us aggressive and masculine and whatever else, they're not making it any better for themselves, right? Because they are our counterpart, right? So it's funny how the very stereotype that he tried projecting onto us while he was alive is probably one of the reasons why she's gonna do so little time, right? Because he's a black man, so he's viewed as this aggressive black man who was trying to take her life, so she ended up taking his life, right? And because of that, she's doing very little time because the case is being ruled as self-defense, right? We don't know whether it was or not, but apparently it's going to be ruled as that, or has been ruled as that rather, because, you know, the plea is signed and everything, right? So it's funny how the stereotype that he tried pushing onto us while he was alive is the exact reason why the person who unalived him is going to do so little time. See life, like Nigerian people say. See life. And we are witnessing her white privilege kicking in, so I really don't know what to say, you guys. Like, sure, I think it's very, very little, you know, for unaliving somebody, but I'm not gonna march, you know. I'm not even in America, so it don't matter. But even in America, you know, I hope that black women don't march. I don't want to see anybody talking about it on TikTok, you know. I mean, advocating how it's wrong, how she's only doing 6 years. Like, ladies, mind your business, okay? Mind your black woman business. Mind the business that pays you, okay? Yeah. If you are a black woman watching this video, I hope you have a blessed day, because God knows is. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know, do you remember this story? Because I remembered it vividly. Like the moment I saw the one picture of them, the one in the thumbnail, I remembered them. I remembered watching the video of Chris and everything. It was a very viral story at the time. So what do you think about her being out and about in 18 months? Okay, in 18 months, our girl Courtney is gonna be outside. Okay, she's gonna be outside. She's gonna be outside. Do not forget to subscribe as well as becoming a member. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye guys, thanks for watching. Mwah.